So PitchKickstart is essentially my copywriting app, a version of my copywriting app, which was built over the years with snaps for ChatGPT. When I was teaching ChatGPT many times, new one. Those who were on my training, you know how I teach. I teach everything, how to do it and so on. But still, very often people have problems starting, right? Problem kind of go into direction they want to go. So they look on this, what you see right now, or even 3.5, of course, but essentially looking of empty screen and don't know where to start for copy, right? They just don't. I taught many times how to start, how to do, so I will not be teaching right now. And you already have those training. We have 3 days ChatGPT training in AIpreneur Club right now, so you can go and watch it, right? But so you can do it yourself. But very often people, even then, they kind of struggle to have those seeds, kind of seeds to work around it, how to feed ChatGPT with this content. So this is why I created or make the next iteration of my Scriblio app for the ChatGPT, so it can give you frameworks to work with. Because as I told many times of ChatGPT needs framework, right? ChatGPT usually on its own is not very good in kind of guessing frameworks. It gets text, can get the moods pretty good, like with videos can get what you want to write, but as far as frameworks, you need to have a framework essentially to work with ChatGPT, right? So I will make a zoom so you'll see what it is. You can do everything I teach you on your own, except you will not have the seed. You will not have those snaps. Of course, you will get special offer for PitchKickstart, of course, but you can do it without it as well. I will teach you the way of doing it, but then you will have like done for you everything, right? Hassan, if you can drop the link to the just chat, so we will be here for the bundle version with this huge coupon we did for our VIP members. Yes, with a coupon. Yes, good. So we can get later or not get it, doesn't matter, but I will teach you what I mean. So let's start with something which is very important for everybody, which is VSL, right? Sales letter. Sales letter framework, usually, let me go to it so you know. It's exactly the same what I was teaching manually. Let me go make a project actually. Start a new project. Let's call it sales script or video, or maybe video, VSL simply. VSL. And this is a framework which kind of let you go through it with organized process with ChatGPT, and you can do it on your own because those snaps are not very big, but you can have it explained easier. So we call it snaps because they are small and snappy essentially. What we'll be trying to do it now is to understand the process. This is important. We'll be writing with ChatGPT, and then I also show how to make an email. There's no email framework here, but you can do email using content from these frameworks. This simple framework essentially has this: beginning with the questions, agitate the problem, show why existing solution doesn't work, reveal the new solution, introduce the product, introduction on the product on the presentations, what makes the product better, describe what makes it unique, reiterate with bullet points, customer testimonials, money back guarantee, scarcity and the call to action, and reminder plus final call to action. So as you see, it is one of the structures which you have, but you have right now because I showed you, right? This is a structure. And the main thing is to go step by step in ChatGPT. There's a plugin here which I have disabled because I find it easier to work with ChatGPT. You have included plugin which allows you in menu here plugin. I actually will show you later on. Doesn't matter. Right now I'm using ChatGPT. There's a plugin and you can do it all from here. But the plugin using ChatGPT 3.5, not 4, right? So I prefer 4. So I prefer really to do a copy paste. It's so easy. Why to use something which is essentially better in ChatGPT, right? So if you are writing any sales letter, you need to begin with the questions. And to spark your creativity and also give you kind of a snaps ready, I have many different snaps. We're using some of them, but they are not rocket science, but essentially very important, right? So if you see, is begin with a caption, right? So what you do, you ask questions. You have several questions for different markets here. I will not go through all of them, but I will give you questions which doesn't have like a blank to fill and those who have, right? This is important. So our first example here, first few does not have fill blank. So it's very specific for only one case. So I will do only one example of a specific, then you go fill the blank further there. So are you tired of launching new products that never seems to produce a volume of sales are you looking for, right? So if you have a snap, you really can just preview it. Okay, it's essentially the full is here, right? Let me show success, and I'm about to tell you my secret. So this is like a pre-written snap, but the reason you want to have a pre-written snap because you want to feed ChatGPT with something, not have this blank screen, right? This one is specifically for launches, but I will show you other examples when you fill the blank for the concept, right? So it is not only giving you a framework to walk step by step, but it's giving you kind of framework within the framework, so to speak, seed framework, micro framework. There's no name for it really. To start, so what do you do? You essentially write with a copywriter name. That's easy. Write this. I use Gary Halbert style throughout, but you have 64 different copywriters in this BAM you got. If you didn't get, you get it. But essentially, Gary Halbert is the number first of on the list. This is what I'm using. It's very good for that in our case. Gary Halbert. My typing is not the best. Write this in Gary Halbert style. It's so easy. This is all you type if you have those snappers. You don't have to think much, really. Just paste it and you're done. And just like that, you have your own one of 12 steps and you are done. Unless you don't like it, right? And usually it'll be longer than because those snaps are meant to kind of give ChatGPT inspiration, so ChatGPT can have something to work with, like a seed of a plant, right? You can plant seed, it is growing. So it's the same thing. You give seed, and it grows. So I will read you this part. I will not do the other parts. But this is, you will see how powerful. I will make it bigger. How powerful those seeds are as far as giving them to ChatGPT. As you know me for ChatGPT or maybe from previous businesses, other apps. I am long time there, right? So I know how it works or doesn't. So let me read it. Are you absolutely fed up to the back teeth with rolling out one new product after another, only to watch them flounder when they should be flying off the shelves? I feel your pain. Guys, just right there is very emotional. I told you selling, especially hook, must be emotional. Because it's boring, they just go out. If you don't catch them in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, they are gone, right? They don't watch. Are you fed up to the back of the teeth? Not just fed up to the back teeth. It means like very, very deep, right? And so on and so forth. It has this storytelling in it. It has this, like you almost feel the pain of this person as long as you did it. Because as I mentioned on training with micro offers, you are targeting market. You're not targeting everybody. This specific piece, this specific seed is targeting those who already felt the pain. They know it. If they read it, the very first sentence, they identify exactly with that. They identify. They know. Hold on, I see some settings. Just to make sure I'm on right mic right now. Yes, this is condenser mic. Oh, good. So they identify with this specific pain, right? And then you are kind of standing to the side. You are not trying to look on them from the top. I am the guru, and you are nothing. And watch me standing on this pedestal, right? You don't want to do that. This way is best way to not sell, right? So what you do, you kind of standing by side, beside of them. I'm teaching copywriting now, not just the product. I'm teaching copywriting, how to write AI copy with snaps, but in general, it's normal copywriting. I'm copywriter for like 30 years now, starting from ads, right? So I'm teaching you how to use snaps with ChatGPT, but at the same time, I'm feeding you copywriting in general, right? So when I feel your pain, you are standing kind of beside the person. You are in the row, so you are looking on something together, not staying opposite to each other, if that makes sense, right? But here is the kicker. Every single product I shoved out of the nest over the past 12 months has spread its wings and soared straight into the open wallets of delighted customers. Now, how different is that from saying I sold 100,000 this last year, right? How different is that, right? I'm experienced. Let's say you're experienced, you're selling, you have experience. It could be, we are only focusing right now on those who are launching the product, right? If you said, oh, I sold a lot of products and they did good. I'm trying to not go to stories if I'm not selling. If I'm selling with stories. But in that kind of short introduction in this VIP session, you notice I didn't go to the story. I just gave you information, right? So you know that I am legit. If know what I did, like I sold 207,000 of a product, which is true. 90,000 is affiliate, which is true, and I made over 300 different products, which is also true, right? So I started with this short introduction to only tell you kind of my background. And then I went immediately to a plane, right, to my life, so that I am legit and I'm doing stuff, I'm teaching those who are outside of the universe. But I did not go to this story because this is training, right? But if I was selling on VSL, on webinar, I would not do it. I will introduce, and then I go to story, right? I will introduce, go to story. And here we have a story, right? Every single product I shoved out of the nest over the past 12 months has spread wings and soared. Visualization, right? Visualization. You are not explaining the situation of this. So people say, oh, okay, I get it. They see it, wings, spread, emotion, explanation, right? This is what you try to do. Let me switch it off here. Okay, good. So, and let me keep going with this short piece, and then we go faster for other pieces, right? Now, don't you feel a tingle of envy? Well, buck it up, my friend, because I'm pulling back curtain, ready to spill the beans on my own secret recipe for product success. You better prepare yourself for some serious aha moments. Guys, this is opening the loop, right? Right then. So we started with a strong hook, pain, kind of rubbing to the wound, because if we are targeting the right market, we'll immediately not only identify with this, but we feel the pain, right? Because we use the right snap with ChatGPT and the right copywriter, right? Then I prove my point with the story that my products are soaring, right? They are doing good. And then I had I had kind of opening the loop that I will put the curtain, right? I will show you in a second. Opening the loop, so we are waiting to see it. Guys, I hope you see how powerful it is. Guys, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. How is opening is super strong. I'm getting it, guys. Do you understand? Let me see here. Okay, so let me see here. Oh, okay. I think it's all about this first snip. So let me do the next one and explain you on something different. So I will not be making one sales page because it will not explain you all other aspects. What are we doing it, which is much more harder for me to explain, but much way better for you to kind of get it. But what is important is a framework, not the words, unless you don't have any words. I just don't have the snippets, right? So what I will do now, I will not go to other points here right now. I will go to a completely different example, but in second step, right? I will not do all the steps because it's too long, right? I will have to separate masterclass, and maybe I will do it. Separate masterclass for this, but we are here already after the main content. We are here now in overtime, right? We are overtime. Everything that I'm talking about now is overtime. It is not main content of this, main content of VIP. It is essentially we are done with VIP day in a sense. That we covered question and answer. We covered all those two small trainings, and now we have overtime training, right? Like extra super value, right? So agitated problem. This is what I started to talk. Is like putting finger to the wound, right? Here, what we kind of remind them of their own problem. We remind them on the main problem they have. So they started to feel the pain, started to ache, start like rubbing the wound, right? Started like seeing on the wound, feeling it, right? But then on the second step, where am I? I'm here, okay. So on the second one, we are agitating the problem. But so here we have it, right? I can even continue with the same script, but I don't. I will kind of try to show you different bits, so you see that this is applied to wider range of niches, not just money niches, not the launches. So this time we use for the plumber, but we will start with the second step, right? Not the first step. Start with the plumber, but you can think about anything. This is why I'm doing so much jumping between those examples. You have all those snippets. I'll use snippet for the second step, agitate the problem, but for a plumber. So you can imagine what was the first step. First step was the plumber, something is leaking, you feel the pain, right? And then you show how to fix it. But let's now do the second step for a plumber. So I will paste it here. And I will just do the same thing, rewrite as Gary Halbert. Please note that there's no continuation, so we'll not do that well. If I make the second step, actually I should do it different. I will not do it here. I will do a new chat. Because we don't want to have previous context for the launches while we are starting talking to the plumbers, right? So I will start the new ChatGPT. And usually I like to select plugins because this is simply better ChatGPT. I forgot before. Doesn't matter if you use plugins, always use plugins, because I think this is a better model. Somehow it creates a better content longer. So even if you don't use plugins, I suggest to use the ChatGPT with the plugins. So I will do the same, but I'm doing for this second step. And I will kind of explain what we see here, so understand this copywriting concept of the second snap type for the writing the 12-step VSL, right? So here we are rubbing the wound. We are putting finger to the wound, you rub it, like a doctor, right? Go to doctor, you have a wound, So before doctor make you better, they kind of push something, right, or touch, and feel more, right? You go like this, right? In doctor's office, very often doctors make more pain before is take pain away. So this is we're trying to do the same thing. Are you sick and tired of busting your hump? Actually, it's previous copy paste. It's wrong paste. I didn't paste the correct one. Let me close it and let me open the new chat. We need a plumber gig. So I will do preview of plumber. Here we have plumber. And I will do review, right. And Gary Halbert style. Guys, don't use Guy Halbert every time because it doesn't make sense. Use copywriter, it makes sense. I'm just using Guy Halbert because it's first on the list and for purposes of showing you what it is. Now, ChatGPT doesn't have a context about the launch, and it is kind of rubbing the wound of somebody who has a leaking sink, right? We are talking about, we are selling our services as a plumber, and the plumber said, well, the service, they have some leaking, right? Picture this, you are tucked in your bed, the world hushed, but there is this incessant drip, drip, drip. It's a cruel symphony playing on repeat, gnawing at your sanity. You're resting with a stubborn faucet that's got a mind of its own. And there's the rest of this copy. But essentially, it's rubbing your wound. Because sometimes you may kind of, okay, it is dripping, but do I want to fix it or not? Of course, there are cases if it's like flowing, you have to fix it. But it's dripping sometimes, maybe you don't want to spend money, like on fixing it, it's $300 for a point here. It used to be like a year ago, now it's maybe more. 300 points, guys. Plumber is coming to your house, and you have points. They call you point, and whatever point you have is $300. $300. So they want to sell it on the smallest points of fix, because if they fix this drip, they still have $300. Probably now it's $400, right? So essentially, you see how powerful it is, right? To do it, right? For the plumber in this case. So this is how the second part of the plumber says that it would go to rub the wound, and you see this entire text. But the only way ChatGPT was able to write this like a story-based, emotional, like heart-touching copy was because of what? Because of a snap. Of course, you can write the snap yourself. Nobody's stopping you from writing it, right? But I wrote this one. So I know how to write it, so I wrote it. But I don't think I wrote it recently. This one, I think I wrote maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Because the service with Scribio has previous iteration is building on another. So this copy base was very growing for a very long time, and people actually were making those entire sales copies, entire sales script without AI. I want you to sink in. This app can write your entire copy without AI. You don't need AI to tweak it a bit and write entire copy, entire thing for every framework in this app. You don't need it. But luckily, we have AI. And now AI took my frameworks, took all I did before AI, and like skyrocketed it 10 times, 100 times. Because every time you rewrite it, it's different, even if you use the same copywriter. But everybody will be using different copywriter, right? And for different niche. So probability that you have the same copy with anybody else using PitchKickstart is next to nothing because of this. And I would say ChatGPT was like super empowerment for my Scribio This is why I rebranded it to PitchKickstart for ChatGPT, because it is Kickstart for the pitch. Exactly what it is. I showed you, right? You are kickstarting your pitch with everything you have here. And later, with more choices for the same step, as you see, maybe you see more, I think you should see it. You have these brackets. You see, example 5. Example 5 for step 2 of 12-step framework. Guys, imagine how much stuff you have here. We are now talking about example 8 in step 2 in 12-step framework. Do you guys getting it? Do you guys get how much you have inside this inside? But that's the point. Point is I will be getting example 8, right? So example 8 has filling the blank, right? Can you think of anything more discouraging than blank? I have problem right here. It's a raw feeling like, and then negative feeling. Let me give you a preview, it will be easier visible. It's rough feeling like, negative feeling, fill the blank, right? Every time, negative outcome, right? So this one is not only the seed, but is a seed template. So as you notice, at the beginning of each feed, we are getting like entire example of something already written. So easy to start. Of course, you can change as well, and you will produce it. But then when you are going deeper into the examples, they start to be templates. Templates, you have a template. So not only you have all these levels of content, but also even on the lowest level, like right here, we have template, right? Because you can feel it. I'm not sure how ChatGPT, how well it will do on the example 8. If I just paste it here, because that must be flow, as we discussed, and it is exactly also the same step, right? So if this is the same step, it will not be doing much because this is the same step exactly. But let me see what is coming out. Just do it, right? Let me try it, because it is this is step 2 and other is also step 2, so it will be difficult, but we will see. Actually, no, let's do it for step 3. More sense, right? This is step 2. Let's do for next step. So what I will do, I go to step 3, which is show why existing solution doesn't work. It will be super hard for ChatGPT because we need to new plumber business. We'll see if ChatGPT will come up. Usually here, ChatGPT will have to use plugins to search internet. We'll see if ChatGPT will do it. I'm very curious. I never did it. Well, this is how you work with this. Okay, so let me see example. Fill the blanks. Review. No, this is fully filled. We want the blanks. Okay, I see something with blanks. It's example 6 here. A big problem faces. This is good, but I want to try for something more bigger. Hold on, let me see that next example. I'm trying something more complicated, so ChatGPT have more problems. Okay, so let's try this one. So what we are doing now, what we're doing now in this part of training is we'll be continuing with step 3, but with different example, right? So what we did, ChatGPT before we did this agitate the problem for plumber, right? For plumber, and then show why existing solutions don't work, right? And instead of giving a follow-up about the plumbers, we'll try to confuse ChatGPT and see if ChatGPT can come up with something, right? I have plugin enables. It's good experiment, right? Let me think. I will do like this. Continue. This says script with this formula. And first iteration, I will not add anything more except you may use both your internal knowledge, difficult word, knowledge, and plugins. Write from the script with maybe with formula and for text, with formula in following text. And now the text dot first. You may use both internal knowledge and plugins. Plugins. Continue writing. Continue writing. It's important to repeat copywriter. I notice that ChatGPT is losing copyrighted style if you don't keep kind of reminding it. Continue writing in Gary Halbert style. Here is the formula. I'm repeating again, formula. And see, if it's super hard, even for human copywriter. So it is writing the copy. I will read it at the beginning of it. Oh, it's done. Done for the snap. Also notice it is normally longer than the snap. And this time the snap is just the formula, right? Because snaps, let me show it again. So you will be in the context. This is template on the formula in the form of the snaps, right? So not just the snap, but you have like layered snaps. And at the bottom, in this case, could be the complete text or the formula template. And this is formula template, and we just use it, right? And let's see what ChatGPT did. It's super complicated, even for the normal copywriter. Let's see how ChatGPT did. As exasperating as it is, the truth is there hasn't been a straightforward, packet-friendly alternative to the so-called quick fixes. I love it already. Why? Because the first thing somebody who has small drip do is quick fix, right? Just quick fix. Don't drip. Quick fix, not pay. Amazing stuff. Sure, they are fine and dandy. If you're seasoned plumber and all the die yourself enthusiast with a garage full of tools, but what about the rest of us? This is perfect on a few levels. It's perfect because it is not saying it is impossible. It is saying that it's possible. The only thing you need is to be either a plumber or done-hard enthusiast, have full garage and know what they are doing, right? So it is discarding 99% of readers of this message or watchers of this video. But what about the rest of us, right? These options, they are good, they are shiny. But here is the rub. Their complexity is it's like you need a PhD in plumbing to decipher those convoluted instructions, and the cost is like they are burning a hole right through your wallet. This just makes it an uphill battle for the everyday Joe and Jane. Guys, I will not keep going, but I will explain maybe this paragraph from copywriting standpoint of view, how powerful it is. It is essentially comparing plumbing to PhD. Could you imagine what the actual copywriter in form of ChatGPT with Gary Halbert is doing? It is making the simpler thing more complicated thing. How many of viewers have PhD? We don't know, right? But first of all, you must have a tool full of garage full of tools, and be super die-hard, right? So we discarded those who don't, right? And when we are talking, it's super complicated, right? Super complicated, so don't even try. Meaning, don't even try, right? And the next one is the cost, right? super expensive, money. So all those right triggers are kind of touched in this step 3 from this formula or template, whatever you want to call it, right? And actually, I will read it because it is very important, like overall, because it is touching emotion, not trying to explain that you need to do this, right? You see, the average homeowner, the hardworking folks who just want a peaceful night's sleep without the relentless drip, they are left high and dry. It's like they are stuck in a never-ending loop of leaky faucet and sleepless night. Guys, this is reiterations of what they want. They have problem with this dripping, this freaking dripping, right? It is kind of like rubbing it more and also kind of feeling the pain again, right? And then we are switching because you see what we are working on. We are working on show why existing doesn't work. This is this point. We are not next point. I will not, this is only 3. I will not go over the next point because we will stay here until late night. But what I want to say is that every other point, every other framework, every other sub-framework, you will just go down and you just have to copy paste, right? Right thing. Just copy paste to the ChatGPT. So let me finish with this. You see, the average homeowner, the hard-working folks who just want peaceful night sleep without the relentless drip, they are left high and dry. It's like they are stuck in the never-ending loop of leaky faucet and sleepless night. But what if I told you there's a light in the end of a leaky funnel, not funnel, leaky tunnel? What if I told you there is a solution that's as easy as a piece and won't cost you arm and leg? Well, buckle up, because that's exactly what I am about to do. Guys, if somebody get to this point, we got them 70% the way to buy. 70% the way to buy. They are sold without seeing what it is. So unless you screw up the next part, and the solution which you give is not easy, sounds not easy, it's only about sounding, and super expensive, they are sold. So if this is easy and inexpensive, they are almost sold. Of course, there are still other points, but you just reach critical element in your sales script. And the rest must be strong, but they keep going, right? I will just show you points. I will not go because it's too long. Reveal the new solution. Now is the place when you need to show your complete solution. And this is the place actually that if you don't say own solution, it will be hard for ChatGPT to find out. But but then you use this research method I showed you on this 5 days challenge, which you have access to as an iPreneur Club member, how you can research the 3 problems, fabricate problems using ChatGPT, and you go to YouTube and find the biggest problems. It will go to website. Essentially, it will give you the problems and it will reveal solutions. And essentially, right there, you plug in stuff from your lead magnet, or you generate. I mean, you have to have something to sell. No lead magnet, micro offer, micro course, whatever you have, with big course, whatever. Here is where you plug in what you are selling. If you don't know what you are selling, first you have to figure out, of course, we are selling with different training we had, right? But here you have something you sell. So you go to Snap. You don't use those first examples because those initial examples are completely written. They don't have templates. So you go to like example 5, and the remaining have are templates, frameworks, kind of micro frameworks, right, so to speak, and use them with your context, product type. Well, let me just solve. Let me not do it. Question to you: are you able to make your product title a product type? Are you able, after you know what you're selling, and you have already a product, guys, are you able to have a product type and product title to fill the blanks? And this is where you cannot, I guess everybody's saying yes. So in short, you will not pass copy paste to ChatGPT as it is. Instead, you will simply have to fill this product type with your product type and with your product title. But because you did the steps earlier, ChatGPT already knows your niche, in a sense, already knows your other stuff, what you say, like plumbers, right? You know what is paying, what is not paying, how to solve. So because you are prompting in order, step by step, as you have in the framework, you use those snippets from steps from the framework, right? You don't just go random. ChatGPT is building the knowledge about your product, right? And by the time you go to call to action, scarcity, but maybe here. Before you go to the describe what make products unique, I am pretty sure 9 of 10 times ChatGPT will be able to give you amazing description of your what makes unique of your product. We should do it essentially, right? For you, if you don't know. And then you can reiterate with bullet points. You want to have a kind of summary. If you watch my sales pages, usually at the end of my sales videos, at the end usually is, and here is what you got. And I am kind of going step by step what I already told you what you get, right? Not me or whatever, my clients or AI, doesn't matter. So those are those bullet points. Those are a kind of reminder what they are getting, a list, because usually people are able to remember the last thing and maybe before thing, but they kind of start forgetting things they actually saw through our presentation. So this is meant to remind them what they are getting. And then if you have customer testimonials, you can plug it in. Then you have money back guarantee. This is like standard things, but it will be triggered like with a story. Can money back guarantee like exaggerated? Can we just make money back for no reason? Or can we money back if you're not super excited and your drip doesn't disappear? If you give only one drip, we will get money back or something like this, right? So like guarantee is also kind of selling the product, scarcity, call to action, reminder, and so on. Guys, this is how it works. I think it's very, very powerful. And there are so many frameworks. Every framework essentially is like this. But there's so much to it. I will talk about it entire day, and you will not get finished about this copywriting. And also, of course, you can make emails after you have both your copy done. Then you just ask ChatGPT, now write me 10 emails based on the copy. And then when you have super emails, because email we have all those points from your sales copy. Guys, it is really easy, makes it really easy. So the frameworks you have here in my product, I will leave it, I will not save it. 11 steps. Oh, my voice is, I think we'll be finishing after this. Because we are now in 4 hours, guys. Almost 4 hours. I didn't expect that much. So what you get in pitch, what you get? See, I'm doing the same thing. What you get in PitchKickstart, right? Because right now I finished teaching and I will offer you special offer, right? I will offer you value because you know what, now you understand what it is. It's amazing. It brings your business, and it is my responsibility to serve you, to help you business, but also I'm giving you tool to make it which works on the frameworks, right? So I am doing those bullet points right now. 11 step sales letter framework, 12-step DSL framework, bullet points framework, explaining video framework, Facebook ad framework, headline frameworks, lead page framework, retargeting framework. I will not mention frameworks now. Social video ads, upsell VSLs, VIP libraries scripts, VIP library upsells, VIP library upsells, VIP library upsell scripts, version 2, webinar framework, and webinar registration framework. And those are all frameworks. And now to like wrap it up how great it is. Those VIP frameworks includes VIP, which you get. They includes all the body of works on my all copies. Everything I did for last, I think since 2014, so it's 9 years. I wrote copy before, but I didn't save it, right? So I think last copy, which is in this, is everything which sold, all copies which sold 8 figures, really, are inside. Cut down to those small seeds, snaps, sorry, it's no snaps, which are seeds for ChatGPT. So I took all this body of frameworks, amazing work, not only my work, my team work. I worked with my team for years because this product is on the market with different iterations for I think 5 years now, maybe for I think 5 years. First time it came early version, so we get time to do it. So over the years, we're cutting is first to the steps, right, and then cutting to those examples. On these examples, like those snaps, and then making some of the snaps, most of the snaps, like a micro frameworks templates. So with those like fill the blank to like make it better, right? So you can do anything with those. And there's one more thing, it's actually true. One more thing, in 2017, I was busy and I didn't have time to write copy. So for about 6 months, I think, 7 copies, I hired copywriter. I hired copywriter, I didn't have time to write. And I paid cash. I have proof for my bank transfers. I paid for 6 or 7 copies or 5. I don't remember. I paid $52,000. Many transfers. Usually, the front-end copy was $5,000, and each OTO was $2,500. So I paid for each front-end copy, and for each upsell, for front copy $5,000. It was back then 2017. So now with inflation, we're bigger, right? But let's say it is 5,000. I literally paid 5,000 to copywriter, and then I paid him. His name is Kim. I paid him. Actually, the guy is 8-figure copywriter. And now he is running a 9-figure company as the CEO. But he was writing for me at the time. So he wrote this copy for the front end and for these 2 upsells for each. So I don't remember smaller payment by 10,000 to him. So it must be 5 because I was I would pay 52,500. So it must be 5,000 to start 10. So it must be 5. So it was 5 products. For 5 products, he made those copies, wrote for me, amazing. Product did very, very well, each of them. We saw amazing. And we decided to include all this 5,200 worth of copy, which I paid real money for, inside these VIP libraries. This is why we don't split them, because it is VIP. And all of those VIP libraries are based not only on those scripts, but also my stuff, right? So VIP is kind of my stuff for 2014, plus this 52,500 worth I spent on copy to this copywriter. It is inside the PitchKickstart. And this is end of description, end of what you are getting. When you actually buy it, buy a bundle, buy everything, all the upsell, all the downsell, everything, for $297. This value is actually not made up. I told you a story about copywriting, about me not being able to copy for 5 products. And this is how I came up with this copy, because this copy is there.